challenge people on their goodness. They think they're good because I'm better than that guy over there. I'm not as bad as him. Well, God really doesn't grade on the curve, does He? You know, He doesn't grade on the curve. You know, like when you're in school and you're taking that chemistry class, and the teacher will usually grade on the curve. However, you got that one smarty pants that gets the A+ and ruins it for everybody. You know? And then you all gang up on him after the class. But, you know, people think they're good. Sometimes you have to challenge them. Well, let's see God's standard of righteousness. Not what Joe thinks or what Sue thinks. Sue. I don't know why we choose those names. We're picking random people. John, right? Johnny. But I said, well, you know, you've broken the first commandment. What do you mean? Well, first of all, they say, usually, what's the first commandment? You shall have no other gods before me, right? Have you always put God first place in your life? The very air you're breathing, have you thanked God for it? You know, we're guilty, aren't we? The law, all are guilty. Aren't you glad you have salvation tonight? And if you don't, tonight's the night for salvation. If you don't know Jesus. Tonight is the night. You know, Jesus once told a parable about a man who said, man, I got these barns and they're full. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear them down. And I'm going to build bigger barns. And I'm going to stock them full. And then I'm going to say to my soul, soul, take your rest. Eat, drink, be merry. Right? Well, God says, you're a fool.
That's right.
Because that night his soul was required. That night his soul was required of him. And he had to stand before his Maker. So, I'm not afraid to give an invitation to salvation, even though I know most of you. You know, God's salvation is wonderful, and we need to proclaim it, right? So, tonight, our children are in here with us. They're going to hang in here with us, clapping, yeah, silent claps. So, I wanted to speak a little bit to the children. So, let's have the children come down to the front. Back off center. The children, aren't they precious?
Yeah.
They're precious, aren't they?
Amen.
Come here, Kelly. Give me a hug. She normally gives me one. Who else? Hope, you want to give me a hug? Easy on my back. Okay. You know, Jesus took the little children up in His arms. I was going to do that, but you know my lower back's been bothering me lately. And He blessed them. Now, what I want to share with you, you know, this is the month of October. You know, at the end of this month, there's something that happens. What is it? Halloween. Halloween. And I can tell by the way you said that you like Halloween, don't you? Well, Halloween has a lot of things that surround it. And I'm not going to get a lot into it tonight. But you know that we're doing something else. We're doing something called a harvest party. Because this is the time of the year of harvest. Now, Halloween is something that my wife and I, as our kids have been growing up, don't talk now, kind of listen to me. as our kids have been growing up, we never participated in Halloween. If you go to places like to the stores, you see all the things up. What kind of things do you see? Like at Christmas, you see like reindeer. You see mangers, right? Well, what do you see at this time of the year? Skulls. Okay. Okay. Raise your hand though. Costumes.
Spiders.
What?
Spiders.
Spiders. Ooh, spiders. You know what that is?
A spider.
It's a spider doing push-ups on a mirror.
Vampires.
Vampires. Vampires. Those are with the big teeth, right?
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Ghosts. Grim Reapers. William said devils. You know, the mask with the little horns and stuff. Now let me ask you. You know, there are some places you go in and it's really scary. Right? No, I mean like stores. You go into the factory card outlet right now. You go in there and it's really kind of freaky. You're not supposed to talk unless you raise your hand. Then when you raise your hand, I'll call you. Well, you know, those things are, they're celebrating something, and it's not good. Now, I know that most of you probably like Halloween because you get lots of something. Candy, right? So that's why we have a harvest party, because we're going to have games, we're going to have candy, because you don't have to go out there and participate in that. Because Halloween is not something new. It goes back a long, long ways. Mike, what do they do in Mexico on Halloween?
Well, Halloween in Mexico is called Day of the Dead. And that night, at midnight, they go to the graveyard and they take food and alcoholic beverages to the dead people and their family. They take them their favorite things to eat in hopes that their spirit will come back and eat and drink. Actually, I think the dogs eat the food and the drunks drink the alcoholic beverages. But that's what it's all about.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Now, and that's, things like that are celebrated all throughout the world. Well, you know, celebrating death. You know, who's the author of death? The devil. The Bible says that the devil had the power of death, and Jesus came and he triumphed over the devil. Right? So when as our kids have been growing up, we don't like to participate in that. We don't like to have anything to do with that because of what it stands for. Put your hand down for now. Now I want to tell you something about the devil. You know, the Bible says that the devil. Well, let me ask you this first. What's the devil look like? What do you think he looks like? You probably have never seen him. But what do you think he looks like?
He has horns on his head and he's all red and he got a tail with a triangle at the end.
There you go. He just described the cartoon devil. You've seen it before, right? There's an angel sitting on one shoulder, a little devil that looks just like that, little horns, little, and hold a pitchfork, right? And then they're saying, hey, steal that piece of candy. And then the angel's saying, don't do it. Don't steal that piece of candy. That wouldn't be right. And the devil's saying, who's gonna know? Right? Something else?
An angel.
What's that?
An angel.
An angel. Oh. Well, let me tell you what the one description, put your hands down now. One description the Bible gives of Satan or the devil. Because you know that at one time Satan was in heaven. But he wanted to be like God. And he wanted to be worshipped. You know how tonight we were worshiping Jesus? The devil wanted that for himself. And so God kicked him and other angels out of heaven. Because God will not share his glory with anyone else, especially an angel. And then, so the devil has been roaming